you at the same time. Hakuna mwenye nafunza vizuri na mwingine nafunza vibaya. Huyu nafunza 2 pages, huyu nafunza 5 pages. No, I'm teaching you the same material at the same time. So you have equal what? Chances. And your chances are also independent. Wewe kupita, it has nothing to do with whether mwenzako alipita ama hakupita. Si kila mtu anaandika karatasi yake na inakuwa marked independent. So you all have equal and independent chances. Now, these random sampling methods, there are several, but we won't get into that. But what I need to say is that they are the most applicable, because when they are used, people really complain. People really complain. Then the opposite of that is called non-random. Non-random, some people will also call them non-probabilistic. The random are also called probabilistic. Now, the non-random, it is where members of the population do not have equal and do not have independent chances. There are some members who have higher chances. There are some members whose chances depend on other factors. Now, these methods, whenever they are used, people complain because that difference in chances is pegged on factors which are beyond control. For example, gender. None of us chose to be born in our gender. Ulijipata mwanaume ama mwanamke, si ndio? Yeah. Ama ulichagua? Did you make a choice? You just found yourself already you are a man. Yes. But now there are places you go and you find that because you are a lady, unawekwa nje. Because you are a man, unawekwa nje. So such issues, they make people to feel bitter. Issues to do with religion, especially the main religions, like maybe Christianity, Islam, and so on. For most of us, we found ourselves. Venye ulizaliwa ukajipata wewe Mkristo, hii miaka yote unaishi Mkristo. Na maybe hutabadilika. Kama ulizaliwa Muislamu, chances za utakaa tu. Although some of us change, but even those who try to change, is it very easy? Have you ever seen people changing from one side to the other? Yeah. Is it very easy? You can imagine even amongst Christians. Kama wewe ni Mkatoliki na unataka kuja kanisa yetu na pesa, ili ya pesa. You may find a lot of resistance, you know? Yes. And you can imagine now that is within Christianity. So what would happen if you are now moving from Christianity to Islam? So those are things that, but you can be discriminated, still, on the basis of your religion. Fike mahali upate kama wewe ni Mkristo, kama wewe ni Muislamu. Issues to do with age. You can be discriminated on the basis of age. Have you chosen to be your age right now? Do you have anything you can do about it? It's only ladies who don't grow beyond 18 years. They are always 18 years. But you cannot do anything about it. If you are already 18, you cannot tell us you are 12. Neither can you tell us you are 40. You are there and it's beyond you. It's beyond you. And at times, the other day I was in a class somewhere doing psychology. One of the girls made a comment and another person responded. You are too young to understand these things. Keep quiet. And that girl was did not take it right. Said, no, cannot tell me I'm young. I also understand. Now you see, that person is being silent on the basis of their age. That whoever miaka yako, you cannot comment about these issues. You should already send from us. Yeah. And many others. A case in point is about, we have 2 cases in point. When it comes to admission to the universities, you find that ladies are admitted with what? Lower points than men. Is it fair? So you find in a particular course, maybe the entry is 64 points. A guy with 63 points will be rejected, but a girl with 63 will be accepted. And these are the same ladies who tell us what a man can do, a woman can do better. So if yes, then you should even be selected with 65 when I'm being selected with 63. Basi, nasema yes hapa lakini tukisema hapa tena inakuwa no. Why? Very why? So is it fair? Why do you think it's so? Because that is how it's done. Ladies are preferred. They are given, they are taken with the lower points. So girl child empowerment. Why should the girl be empowered and the boy? Si kama sahi na wafunza pamoja. So why should I empower you and not him? And you are all in the same class. Okay, so now there are a few reasons why the girl empowerment comes in. And just one of them is that a girl child has very many distractions in life. Compared to the boy child. See the excuse? You see, like today alone, if you are to ask these ladies, you shall not ask them. Most likely, kwa barabara zenye wamepita, wamefungiwa barabara severally. Na mtu anajaribu kumshika in some funny way, akijaribu kujua jina yake nini. But you and me, most likely for the last 1 year, hakuna mtu amekufungia jina. Hata kujua unaitwa nani. You know, I was teaching at school, and in that school, the lifts never used to be very good, and there used to be the lifts, the stairs, the stairway. So most of the students would use the stairs, and we were in, I think between where we were and the ground floor, there were like 3 floors that were not occupied, so hakukuwa na traffic sana. So unaona ukipita hapo ni kama unaenda peke yako. So many ladies would be harassed. Unapanda stairs, mtu mwingine amekufuata nyuma anaanza kushika. What do you do? What do you do? Iva, mtu umepanda stairs na uko peke yako, jamaa anachomoka na huko nyuma unasikia. Yes. Sasa by the time that lady comes to my class, number 1 akona uoga, anashangaa huyo ni nani? Nitafanya nini? Ni mwanafunzi ama ni nani? So as I am talking about hypothesis testing, akili yake bado iko huko kwa stairs. But for you, hata kama mtu alijaribu kukuzuia kidogo, unauliza nitamaliza class wewe ukamtafute. Nitamaliza class ngapi wewe ukatafutane na yeye. So even when later on we get married, if my wife was in this class, tukifika kwa nyumba, si mimi nakaa naanza kupumzika. Yes. It may not be fair, but that's how society is. Tukifika, you see, if we were to leave the house the same time with my wife, she must wake up at least almost 1 or 2 hours early. Na hata akiamka those 2 hours, bado tutakombana sababu atachelewa. Then tukirudi, mimi naenda nakaa tu hapo, naanza kuwatch TV. Sasa yeye aende kitchen nini. So you can imagine now both of us are students. See, I will perform better than her. Yeah. So those are some of the reasons why the girl child is around. It's given a living. But research has also shown that the girl child is not weak. It's only these distractions that make them appear like they are weak. But research has it that they are very, very strong in some areas. One, girls have very good shock absorbers compared with men. If you are to subject a man and a lady to the same amount of stress, a man will collapse while the lady appears like nothing is happening in her life. Look at some of these things are very practical in society. Tuangalie kitu like in a marriage. Mwanaume akishikwa ametembea nje na mama ameshikwa ametembea nje. Which one is likely to remain stable? Already mwanamke akipatikana nje, somehow she can absorb, and I'm not complaining for it in any way. It is wrong. I'm always citing it. But already there is a way anaweza ishika na avumilie na hiyo bomba bado ifanye nini? Simama. But mwanaume are so weak, you can't hold anymore. Number two, ladies have been discovered that they are very good in multitasking. They use their two sides of brains at the same time, while a man uses only one side at the same time. I mean, at a time. And that's why that is the reason why, if you are to present the same issue to a man and a lady, a man will quickly give you the solution or the answer, but a lady will take time. Because the lady is using the two sides of the brains, and as a result of using the two sides, they are a bit slow. Ladies appear to be a little bit slow in decision making. But the decision they make, it is a well-considered decision. Na ndio naonaga, I don't know whether you see these things. Wanaume mnaweza kubaliana na kitu na yeye mkiwa kwa hiyo. Akifika pale, hiyo maneno imeisha. He's now thinking of something else, you know? Because it was quickly thought, and just as quickly it came, quickly it went. But for already, by the time anasema yes, ama amesema no, imekuwa imefikiriwa. So it's not something that they easily change. This is one of the reasons why, even at government levels, you have seen, or maybe before I move out of that, the third character is that ladies have been proven to be good in figures than men. Like why class, nikiwafunza vizuri niwapee cut, chances are they might defeat you. So as a result of these three, we have seen now even in government, ladies being appointed even to managerial level, all the way even to cabinet positions, because these are strengths. It's only that Kitambo, when they introduced education, they taught, first of all, the African men feared to educate their girls. Why? Are you sure? Most African men thought, ukifunza msichana atakuwa kichwa ngumu, hatakaa kwa ndoa. Element of control. Which is true. Atakuwa kichwa ngumu, so you can't control. Actually, even today, we have men who cannot marry a lady who is on the same level. Yes. Because anaona huyu akisoma kidogo, akuwa na pesa kidogo, atakuwa kichwa ngumu. There is another word they use, but I don't want to use to mention it. I know it was used. You are thinking of what I'm thinking. Now, those fellows who introduced education, they taught men 3 R's. Now, 3 R's are reading, writing, and arithmetic. These are the courses that led to the prestigious careers such as engineering, medicine, and so on, which even today, they are male-dominated. But for the ladies, they were taught something we call 3 B's. Bathing, boiling, and baby. So as long as a lady knows how to boil, that is how to cook food, and how to bathe, to wash ourselves and look smart, and baby, how to take care of a baby, that was good enough. And these are the courses that led to careers such as community health workers, nurses, nursery school teachers, and so on, which even today, they are female dominated. That's all? Yeah. But it's not that ladies could not do well in arts. So that is the history of education a bit. Sasa hiyo maneno yote imetoka hapa kwa nangano, why ladies could be preferred. Another case in point was hii maneno ya private schools and public schools. Unapata, if the admission to national school is 400 marks, unapata mtoto wa private academy akona 410 anaachwa, but wa public akona 395 anaingia. And people would complain. They have even gone to court. And they say, actually those who campaign for this, they say, ukiona mtoto wa public akona 395, kama angekuwa academy, huyo angekuwa na 460. Is it true? Again, the answer depends on some variables, which include number one, mahali ulisomea. Kama ni academy, you are likely to say yes. Number two, kama hukusomea academy, watoto wako mahali wanasomea, ama mahali unafikiria watasomea. Kama watasomea academy, utasema yes. And the opposite is true. So, huwa inaleta a lot of mvutano. So what nowadays I'm told the ministry is doing, wanaikanyagia huko ndani, they moderate. So marks zote zinatoka zikiwa sawa. As in, kama huyu wa academy akona 410, you don't release 410, unamwachilia na tuseme unamwachilia na 390. So akishapewa 390 na useme cut off 400, mzazi ataenda wapi? Hakuna. But ukitoa 410, alafu muache nje kwa 400, then that person will do what? Will complain. So those are the non-random methods. Now, the other thing that you need to consider is called the sampling distributions. And maybe before I talk of that, there is what we call the standard error. Now, standard error is the difference that arises between the actual and the predicted. Earlier on, I had said that you can look at me and think I'm a good person. But when you come closer to me, you realize that I'm not good. Now that difference is what we call the standard error, or the opposite. Now this standard error, it is what in our earlier computations, tangu tukiwa kwa descriptive statistics, we were calling standard deviation. But when we come now to the sampling theory, we call it standard error. Standard error. Now then we have what we call sampling distributions. Now sampling distribution has to do with the grouping of what we call sample statistics. They could be the mean, they could be variances, they could be proportions. And we have 4 sampling distributions. One, as you can see, we have Z, we have T, we have F, and we have another one called chi-square. Now Z, it is the one that we have been calling, we have been using, where have we been using Z? The normal probability distribution. So normal is coming again. I told you normal is very, very popular. So we are back to it. Then we have T. T is slightly different from normal, but it's more or less the same thing. Then we have F. We shall be also discussing it. Even chi-square, we shall be discussing it as we go by and by. The other thing, I've said we shall be discussing, that's why I'm not getting to the details of the point that are given there, because we shall have computations for all this. The other thing that we need to mention is about what we call estimation. Estimation is the other word of what I call the second definition of sampling. And to estimate is the other word again of predicting, trying to forecast. And this is based on what you have seen in the sample. We have 2 types of estimation. One is called point estimation. Point estimation is where you want to use a specific value of statistic to get the specific value parameter. Exactly what I mean is like this. You have computed X bar for the sample, and you want to tell us that the mean for the population is that. For example, you have gotten a mean of 40 from the sample of maybe 10 students. Then you want to tell us the whole class, everyone would have gotten a mean of what? 40. That's called point estimation. Now, this point estimation is very accurate, but unfortunately, it is very difficult to achieve. It's like from where you are sitting, if I was tell you to draw something and hit this dot, what is the probability that you make it? You draw something, won't get hit. The chances of hitting that are very slim. Yeah. So point estimation is good, but it is rarely achieved. And this is the one that is used in social relationships by people who we call perfectionists. I don't know whether you have come across one. Perfectionists, they are people who want everything as it should be. They are guys you tell, let's meet at 4:30 for a cup of tea. And for some reasons, kama leo kumenyesha, unakuja 4:34. You find the guy has left. You agreed for that. Why are you coming at 4:34? Or if you still find, or if you find him at the venue, or her at the venue, hata kusalimia, anaanza msomo. Kwani wewe huna saa? Kwani wewe unafikiria nini? All those, Now, you can imagine how it feels. Umejaribu. Actually, maybe you are even looking forward for that date, for that meeting. Hata ulitoka mapema. But for some reasons, kukanyesha. Jam ndio hiyo. So umechelewa tu kidogo. But now the guy does not want to understand that. Ni msomo, hata ameenda. Now, hata hiyo chai mtakunywa kwa amani kweli. So you find that it is very difficult to maintain a relationship with a perfectionist. Very difficult. Or a teacher like me, you come to my class, you are late kidogo, wewe bad. Like James leo nilifukuza wewe, rudi bad. We were taught, I came across one at the University of Nairobi when we were doing our MBA. That guy, akishaingia class, don't try to get him. Akishaingia tu hivyo, upate ameingia wewe bad. Yeah. Na akiwa class, don't try to move out. And if you dare that unaingia akiwa kwanza anasimama hapa, kwanza anaanza matusi, anaanza msomo. Yes. And you know now at the university the lecturer is doing power. So huwezi anza kujibizana na yeye because ni anasema mtihani ni atamark. So ukijibizana na yeye hiyo mtihani utapita. So you have to go home. Yeah. So you find that people become bitter, the relationship does not move on well because you want to achieve this perfectionism. Now, what is more practical is called interval estimation. Interval estimation or confidence, or rather, interval estimation is where you give an allowance. Like now, from where you are seated, if you can draw something and hit anywhere with the whiteboard. Is it possible? Yes. Yes. So this interval, it is achievable, but it's not very accurate. It's not very accurate. Actually, in life, we say, if you want to commit yourself in relationships, you use these points estimation. But if you don't want to commit yourself, you use interval. Now, those people who use the interval, they are fellows who use such words as any, some. I'll come one of these 5 days. When I tell you I'll come one of these 5 days. No, don't worry. I'll give you some. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll come anytime. Now, when I tell you anytime, you cannot hold me accountable. But if I want to be specific, to be point, I'll tell you, I will come by 4. So if you pick the 4, you can call me on your business. So that is now what we call point estimation. It's more committal. But if you don't want to be held accountable, where to be a what interval. Anytime where I'll do something, those kind of things. And this is what we use even in accounting. Later on, you'll be introduced to auditing. In auditing is an exercise where you check whether books of accounts have been done well. You don't look at them and you say, "Mimi kama auditor nimeangalia hizi vitabu and they're accurate." If you tell us they're accurate, you are telling us there is no single error, which is not most likely true. So what auditors do, we say, I've audited the books of accounts and they reflect a true and fair view. When you say true and fair, no one can pin you because where does the word true begin and where does it end? When I tell you it's fair, where does it begin and where does it end? Yeah. But if you say it's accurate, then you'll be in trouble. Now this interval, it is given like this. We have three segments. We have the central point here, we have the lower limit here, and we have the upper limit. Now this is where we say we expect things to be here. But on the lower side, on the upper side, they can go to this other side. Now this is called the lower limit. This is called the upper limit. Now here, we have what we call the confidence interval. Confidence interval is a show of the amount of confidence you have in something. That's why you hear when people are talking, they say, I'm 100% what? Sure. I am 50-50. I'm 80% sure. Now that is what we use here. Now, based on these sampling distributions here, as I had mentioned, we have formulas we use to compute something we call text statistics. And in your notes, you can see those formulas, and we shall be using them as we get there. So that is all that I wanted to say about the terms and the confidence interval. So we'll stop there for now. Tomorrow or the next lesson, God willing, we shall do those questions. Thereafter, we proceed to hypothesis testing. Thank you.